Welcome to Unlock Your Sexual Desire Masterclass. I'm so excited that you guys are here and to learn some strategies and really important things that will help you on your way unlocking that desire. 10, you are ready. Awesome. Where are you tuning in? Put that in the chat. I'd love to see where you guys are at. We have someone from Utah, someone from Arizona. Awesome. Yes. Okay, for you to showing up on time, I'm going to put a freebie in the chat, a link. This is my mind-blowing mind hack for showing up on time. You get to have that for free, so save that link somewhere. That way you can get it later. It'll help you calm your nerves.
Hey, I'm
And what's that? And it will help you, I'll put it in the chat again. It'll help you find calm and peace in your relationship. It's like a little meditation kind of thing. So grab that for showing up early. It's free. I teach it in my paid program. Okay, we're going to talk about how to unlock your sexual desires. Thanks for showing up and being on time. There's the little link for showing up on time. All right, 3 keys to open the door to the best sex of your life. And many people also unlock their business while they're at it, and you may as well too. So let's see. You are in the right place if you're married and your marriage is on the verge of divorce, or if you're in a long-term relationship, you're on the verge of separating with your partner. Even if you've been divorced and you're needing tools to heal from your previous relationship, you're in the right place. If you're a business owner or leader who are stuck and plateaued, not everybody that I coach is a business owner, but they're building their career. You could even be a stay-at-home mom and your partner is in business or building his career. So either way. If you don't desire sex, but you want to and you need to, you're in the right place. If your relationship is still worth saving, you are in the right place. If you're ready and open for change now, you're willing to do whatever it takes, you're willing to invest in yourself and your relationship, and you follow through to the end and you're all in, you are in the right place. And you're needing help with you or your partner that lacks the desire of sex, maybe one loathes sex, or it seems like a chore, something that you have to do, or either of you tries to avoid sex, or it feels like a lot of pressure, like maybe it's a demand, or you don't feel like you have a connection with your partner. If one of you or both of you feels any of these, or you feel stuck and plateaued in your love relationship, that can also go into being stuck and plateaued in your business, because sex and business is actually cross-contextual. So if you need help solving one of those things, that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you need help solving that, you would love to have the desire and passion back that you once had with your partner at the beginning, I'm glad you're here. Or if you've heard of couples having erotic sex and you want to not only believe it, you want to experience it, I'm going to help you solve this today. Okay. My promise to you is that I want you to walk away having hope and in knowing that it's possible to save your marriage or your relationship, that you will know there is a way to get help and you can transcend your sensuality. Transcendence means breaking out of the limitations that you're in, and sensuality is pleasure, especially we're going to be speaking about sexual pleasure. So breaking out of the limitations that you've set for yourself in having sexual pleasure. Okay, so that you can have the best sex of your life right now. And I want you to know that there are tools and resources at your fingertips to heal faster than you think, without it taking years and without having to rehash years of compounded relationship issues. Okay. And you don't have to go to couples counseling. You actually need to unlock yourself first. Plus, you can even do it quicker within the comfort of your own home. Okay. So during this masterclass, you're going to learn my 3 key secrets: how to empower sensual pleasure, how to get the juices flowing, and how to sexify your life, meaning how to make your life a lot more sexy than it is right now. Okay. Who is ready to listen to the 3 key secrets? Pretty awesome, right? That's why you're here. So who's ready to change their situation today? Type yes in the chat if you are ready to change your situation today. And I am going to, one last time, I'm going to re-put that freebie link for showing up on time in the chat for you. Okay, there you go. So ask yourself, are you 100% committed to do whatever it takes to transform your love relationship? Just a little story. And think of someone, and it could be yourself in some aspect of your life, when you or someone else was only 99.99% committed to something. Okay, 99.99% committed. What kind of behaviors did they have? What kind of, excuses did they make in their life? Just that 0.01% difference of committing. When you are 100% committed, you will do whatever it takes and you will succeed. No matter what obstacles come in your way, when you are 100% committed, you will succeed. No doubt about it. Okay. So even if you're 99.99% committed, I want you to raise it to 100% commitment to yourself and your relationship. It will make a huge difference in your life. All right, so a little bit about me. I hate bragging about myself, but being new and just barely meeting me, I think it's important to know where I come from and what I'm about. So I'm Camilla Peterson. I'm a certified trainer of NLP, which is short for neuro-linguistic programming, timeline therapy, and hypnosis since 2018. So it's been about 7 years almost, helping over 100 people that were stuck and plateaued in their business break through the limits of their mind. Surprisingly, as many of them transcended their business mindset, many of them unlocked it themselves sexually. So my transformative NLP journey started after 15 years in business, when I myself became stuck and I was plateaued. And that's when I unlocked the potential within myself using NLP and timeline therapy, quadrupling my income after a short couple months. And I continue to break free from my limitations as I get to every next level in my career, in my life, in all areas. So as a master practitioner and trainer in my field, I've left an indelible mark, not only by surpassing records in the corporate world, but also by assisting numerous founders and CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies impeccably increase their income, as well as grant them invaluable time, freedom, and, well, surprisingly, help them transcend their sensuality with their partner while they were at it. And my mission is to invite people to embark on a remarkable journey of self-transcendence, unlocking their sexual desires, deepening their passion for each other, and stroking the fire between them and their partner, having hot, fiery sex as I witness the unfolding of their own limitless potential while taking a quantum leap towards their life's purpose, growth, and fulfillment. So kind of to give you a little bit more details of my story, I thought I'd share this with you really quickly. Are you wondering if it's even possible to reignite things with your partner and get that desire and passion back for each other, where you're all consuming and can't get enough of each other? My name is Camilla Peterson. I'm the founder of Transcend Your Sensuality, helping high-level couples that are stuck and plateaued in their love relationship.
It is my mission to help you unlock your sexual and sensual pleasures and overall sexify your life. After transcending my business in 2017 from using NLP and timeline therapy techniques, I felt powerful as my mind started working in ways I had no idea were possible. I quadrupled my income within a couple months. I went big in my business. I traveled to exotic places and did things beyond the limits my mind had previously allowed me to. Later, as I got trained as a master practitioner, I learned how much the trauma from my childhood had not only held me back in my life and business, it also put unconscious blocks on my sexual pleasure spots, making them numb and not as sensitive as they could be. As I learned how much love, sex, and money are interconnected, the more I transcended my sensuality, having greater pleasure in the bedroom, the more money I made, the more love I had for myself. And wow, it was amazing how life became super sexy. Then, as I became a trainer, helping entrepreneurs break through their trauma that held them back in their business, such as PTSD, helping people eliminate decades of addiction with a simple 10-minute NLP technique. I started helping people that were also raped, that was affecting them in their relationships. I helped them by using a 15-minute timeline therapy technique to transcend the trauma, and they began to thrive in their relationships again. I helped couples that were completely plateaued in their business for over 7 to 10 years break through, quadrupling their income and having more time and freedom. And many of them, surprisingly, transcended their sensuality, having greater pleasure in the bedroom with them as well. What I ultimately discovered was extraordinary. Transcending your sensuality, taking your sex life to greater heights, it expands your business as well as creating a much more fulfilling relationship with your partner. It also heightens your experience in life, opening the gateway to all that your heart desires. And as you transcend your sensual pleasures, your passion for life comes back and your life becomes super sexy. Again, my name is Camilla Peterson. Come transcend your sensuality, unlock your sexual desire, deepening the passion you once had with your partner, and stroke the fire between you two as you sexify your life.
Awesome. So, just one biggest thing I have learned from working with so many people is that pretty much anything can be reprogrammed. Anything, especially if you want something, anything can be reprogrammed with NLP or timeline therapy. Um, Thank you for being here and watching my story. I'm so excited about this to share this next quote with you. A lot of statistics show that women are the partner. It's not always true, but women are the one with the less desire for sex. So, when I read this quote for the first time, it just gave me so many ahas. And it reads, a woman needs to understand that a man cannot give an orgasm to the woman unless she does that herself. She needs to learn her body's response to sexual stimulation. Wow. Like, what kind of aha moment did you guys have? Put it in the chat. Like, what are your thoughts? This to me gives a woman so much power, because when you realize that it's all in your control and what you want, I feel like this is so empowering. Now, it could be shameful or make you feel guilty. Either way, those are negative emotions that need to be dealt with. But if you look at it from an empowerment perspective, truly, this will help you start unlocking things for yourself when you really give yourself a chance to realize that anything is possible for you. So how will you feel once your problem is solved? Okay, think about this. Because if you don't know how you want to be in your relationship, how will you know when you've become it? If you don't know what you you want to do, how will you ever know what to do in order to get it in your relationship? If you don't know what you want to have, how will you ever know what you'll have? So you need to actually design who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have within your relationship. Once you know that, you can actually align it with what your partner wants and what their desires are as well, and you can start fulfilling what who each other wants to be, do, and have. But for now, it's best to know what you want to be, do, and have in your relationship. And it's basically creating the very thing you want. The problem with not knowing is a lot of people don't know what it is that they want and they need to create it. So it's time to create it. So I've thought I'd do like a little meditation and kind of give you an imagination of sorts. Maybe it will spark some things. If you don't really know what you want, then this will give you a new picture and certain feelings and sounds that may actually even start creating that desire for you. So if you want to close your eyes for a moment as I guide you through this visualization, and go out in a couple months in the future, looking back at yourself now, going out to a couple months, knowing that you remember what it's like to desire sex, that you love having sensual pleasure, and you feel it again. It's alive in you again. You feel like a woman. You feel like a man. You've used the tools to enliven your body and have reconnected with your partner. Your whole soul feels alive again as you're back to being that powerful couple that you once were. Your confidence soars, you're well fucked. You have direction in your life. You know what you want to do in your life. You've used the tools to break free from anything holding you back. And now, every time you have sex, it transcends your daily worries, becoming unstoppable and limitless in your pursuits. Your dreams have become alive again. Any fears and limitations you might have at that level, you now are able to break through and overcome any obstacle. You look back at your old self with gratitude and love for having overcome that big, huge problem and that you did something about it. And you have freed both mind, body, and soul from that old thinking that left you trapped. And now you're able to do anything your heart desires. You please yourself at any time. You desire to please your partner, so you do. You found that passion back that you had at the beginning when you first met your partner. And you're a well-fucked couple together. You're enjoying each other and are all consuming. Sex feels erotic. It takes you to the stars every time. You miss each other when you split ways each day, and that desire and passion for each other is back. That closeness, that love you once had, it's all consuming and you're perfectly happy again. Only you're both on a whole new level with each other. When you come together, you are filled with the most exquisite rapture and bliss. The pure ecstasy of being in his arms as he penetrates you and take each other to a different realm, a different dimension where all reality vanishes in the pure bliss of love that envelops you both. Now, coming back to now, coming back into the room, allowing your body to feel all the way down to your toes, all the way to your fingertips, to the top of your head, coming back to now. And that is what I call a couple that has transcended their sensuality. All the feels, right? Awesome. So if you stay till the end, I have some free bonuses for you. One is Unlock Your Empress. It's a 5-day virtual retreat replay. It's valued at $469. And Transcend Your Future, it helps you actually create the future that you want. It's valued at $469. And if you stay till the end, the total value is $938, but you get it for free. Okay, so at the very, very end, I'll drop the link so you can get both of these programs for free. So unlock your sexual desire, the 3 key secrets to open the door to the best sex of your life without it being complicated, pornographic, or disrespectful. Okay, I am I hold pride in making a safe place for anyone that comes into my space. And especially with such a delicate topic, you trusting me is really important, and trusting in yourself as well to know that you're in good hands. And I think you'll get a good feel for that throughout this masterclass, and you're going to be able to understand my methodologies, get to know me a little more, and see how we'll be able to work together. And if not, that's fine too. So the secret number 1, how to empower sensual pleasure. The first question you want to ask yourself is your relationship worth saving? Okay, if it's a fuck yes, you are in a perfect place. If you don't even know, you're really not sure, you're in the perfect place as well. And if it's no, you're in a perfect place. Your path just might look a little bit different than if it were to be, because this would be more for you than a couple. If it is worth saving, this is perfect for you. And if your partner isn't able to be here, that's okay too. You can share with this, but at least you're on the path to helping yourself and improving your relationship. So to share the stages of change, this is really important to understand, because as you're changing, life changes a pattern. Okay, there's a pattern of change and how life ebbs and flows. And when you're first starting out, it's point A, and you're going along the path of life, and life is really good. It's amazing, it's wonderful, you're on cloud 9, and as you keep going, life starts getting mundane. And as you get to B, you're like, oh my gosh, things kind of are stagnant. They're a lot the same. And you know that there's more to life. There's more to a relationship. There's got to be more to sex than what it is. And as you go along, there's pitfalls. And C is when you start actually falling down a slippery slope. It's actually quite normal, because as life ebbs and flows, there's going to be down times. The biggest thing is in C, that's when there's a lot of negative emotions, a lot of beliefs that are limiting someone. And the whole thing is, how do you get out of C and evolve and grow? Whereas a lot of people, they'll go, C is so difficult that they'll go back to B where it's comfortable for them. Whereas what actually needs to happen is C, you can either do it on your own, but the whole thing is, how do you get out of C faster and to where you're not going even deeper and deeper and deeper into C? We want to actually go to D. But in regards to change, a person can be 3 things. You can either be open-minded to change, you can be arrested, meaning you're stuck with no options, or you stay closed-minded. Okay, so closed-minded is it. Those arrested and stuck and closed-minded is going to keep you into C much longer. And that's likely where you are now and why you're here and watching this masterclass. So once you actually are in C, you want to either get help or find the resources that will give you a epiphany, that will give you new strategies and new ways of how to actually evolve and get to D, which my desire method is going to help you with that if that is the next step you want to take. So once you get, instead of crawling up to B, you want to get the resources that you need to actually get to a new level. And a new level is going to take new strategies and new ways of thinking, neurologically rewiring things to actually get you to D. And that's the whole thing, is getting to D and not going back to B. So to give you some knowledge around the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, we hear a lot about things that we're unaware of, or the subconscious. Well, if you think about the conscious mind as an iceberg, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's what you can see, it's what's obvious, but what is even deeper is the unconscious, because 95% of our behaviors are actually unconscious, which is all of this down below the iceberg. So we're going to start at the bottom. Okay, we talk about values in the evolution of consciousness. Values are what's important to us, and depending on the environment, will depend on the level in which we are conscious of ourselves and what's actually going on within ourselves. So we number them. No level is better than the other. We just number them to distinguish them between each one. But this is really important to know to kind of see overall where you might be in your relationship. Number one, it's survival. It's usually when you're like a baby and all you can do is eat, poop, sleep, and you're just trying to survive. So we kind of don't really talk much about survival, but level 2 is they're very clannish, so very family oriented or clannish. They've got a clan or a tribe. These people are neurologically, they're victims. Okay, I don't work with victims. Victims usually are always pointing their finger at everything of why the reason why their life is the way they are is because of the economy, because of anything outside themselves. It could even be their spouse that makes them feel terrible or unhappy or whatever. They're the lowest level, and they're usually likely, until their mind shifts and changes, they're very unlikely to change. So they're the hardest ones to work with. So I don't even work with victims. So if you're a victim and you're willing to stay that way, there's nothing wrong with it. You're just not in the right place. So values number 3 is a battle and fight. They have a lot of rejection and fear, actually. So I love working with people to help them eliminate their fears. And the opposite of rejection is self-acceptance, helping a person accept themselves for all that they are. So a lot of the time, these couples, they feel like they're just always battling each other and always fighting. Mostly one partner is complaining about battling or fighting, or that you're arguing all the time, kind of thing. So that's a values 3. A lot of the words that a person uses will distinguish whether they're in a 3, 4, or 5. Most people in the US is between a 2, 3, and 4. The majority of people. And remember, no value is better than the other. A value 4, they're all about the system or the book. This is where religion comes in. A lot of the times religion can actually suppress a lot of people, especially sexually, and there's a lot of shaming and guilt around it. And it's moving from a 4 to a 5 is the most challenging for people because of the religion. And I'm not saying that religion is bad or anything. I'm just saying that there's a lot of guilt and shame around it, and a lot of should nots, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that according to the book or according to the system or the belief system. And so I love helping a lot of people in 4s shift their mind and help them have much more fulfilling sex and open up their sensual pleasures so that you can have more fulfillment, because the more you fulfill yourself, the more you can actually evolve into a 5. And the more you evolve, the more, just think of the iceberg. All of that is getting resolved. So all of these fears and shame and guilt, all of that baggage and all that stuff that you're holding on to gets resolved. The more and more is resolved, the more you evolve. So a 5, they're about competition and entrepreneurship. This is where the true entrepreneurs are made. But they have a lot of unfulfilled expectations. So I want to actually help you fulfill your expectations, fulfill the expectations in the bedroom, the fantasies with your partner, and help you with changing the neurology in your mind. Because when you get to a 6, that's actual when true spirituality happens, and a lot of the junk from the lower level values are gone. So that's when you actually feel love, like the true conscious awareness of what love actually is. So the more you evolve, the faster it is, or the better you feel, and the more fulfillment you will experience as well. And everyone transitions through values, but growth is not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed because if you decide to hold on to, say, shame or guilt or fear, you're unwilling to work through it and work past it. It's just not guaranteed to grow. It's all up to you. So one of the first principles in NLP is what true empowerment is. Okay, the difference between living at a cause and living at effect is 2 totally different things. So I'm going to break them down. When a person is living in the effect side of life, they have reasons, tons of reasons that their life is the way they are. So for example, if someone is like really overweight and it's affecting you in your love life, a person could actually say that it's all McDonald's fault, or it's all the fast food places fault because they're all out there and it tempts me. And so that's the reason why I have extra weight. That would be all the reasons to justify why a person is that way. And they're not actually owning why they're overweight. Okay, so this can be anything. People in the effect would likely blame their partner for not wanting sex or not having sensual pleasure. Okay, but it is when you live on the cause side, that's when you will get actual results, because you actually stand back and you ask yourself, if I were the cause for why my relationship is where it's at and why I don't have sensual pleasure like I should have, if I were the cause of that, what could I do to own why I'm the cause of this? And then that's when you can actually pinpoint the results. So those things all of a sudden will come up and surface. And those are the things that you can be conscious of and start actually resolving. So being at cause, that's when you're going to get results. Living at the effect, you're just going to get more reasons and be stuck where you're at. So once you move on the cause side and get rid of all the reasons, you start getting results. Therefore, you have true empowerment and you are in charge of how much sensual pleasure you want to experience. So if you actually look at yourself and ask yourself, how much sensual pleasure am I experiencing? And am I okay with that? Do I want more? Do I want less? What if you actually matched your partner's desire for sex and you had an even desire between the two of you? How beautiful your relationship could actually blossom and get to the next level. This is true empowerment. And you want to ask yourself, which side are you on? Are you on the cause side or are you on the effect side? Now, I know this probably brings up a lot of things that are probably impacted and layered, but we're going to kind of start going through and undoing some things. So perception is projection. This is really important to understand, that when you blame another person or you point at someone else, you need to know that that's actually your mirror. And I'm going to explain a lot more of this. But when you perceive something, you are actually projecting it onto someone else when it's actually your own mirror. And the beautiful thing about being able to do this is gaining the tools to be able to change the mirror into what it is that you want. Because if you're not liking what it is that you want, then it's time to change it. And you will be able to, knowing that it's your mirror. And at first it can sting, it can hurt, but it's a good kind, because once you become aware, that's the first step in making change. And imagine the times when you look in the mirror and you don't see who you really truly are, the magnificence that you are. Or looking in the mirror of your partner and you're not seeing their magnificence because of all the baggage and all the things that are in your way and clouding the goggles of your eyesight because of the past. Maybe you've experienced past trauma, or when you're in a long relationship, there's a lot of things that happen over time that can be compacted. But when we actually clean our eyesight and truly see our man or our woman, how they actually are. And not just wishing, okay? Not just wishing to see it or to see their behavior a certain way. But when we can actually match who we truly are and who our partner truly is, that's when everything will change. So one principle that's really important is negations. So when I tell you to do not do something, do not, okay? So do not imagine a purple elephant that's really hot and sweaty and stinky in right next to you, and he just pooped a big poop on your floor. Did you think about it? Did you imagine it? Put it in the chat if you did or not. Because if you did imagine it, or if you did not imagine it, you would have had to imagine it and then delete it from your mind, which is a double synesthesia. Haha, yes, I imagined it. Exactly, but I told you not to. Okay, so all those times you tell your kids to not run across the street and then they do, it's because we can't actually process negations. Our unconscious mind cannot actually process negations. So a lot of people will focus on what they do not want, therefore getting it. Like, I don't want a divorce, or I don't want to separate my family, or I do not want to be in debt. I do not want blah, blah, blah. Imagine what you're telling your mind to do if you take out the word not. So at the beginning, it's best to either just avoid the word not, take it out, or if you do use the word not, be more conscious of what you're saying after. Because think about it. When you're saying I'm not this, well, what are you really saying? What is the not outside of the not? You're not even really saying what it is that you're saying. So be more clear and concise. And this is how it works. So when you create your reality, you are the one that sees external events a specific way. So for example, if we were to say there's these three scenarios: winning the lottery, having sex, and firewalking, and there's these three external events outside of yourself. Well, your unconscious mind can actually take 11 million bits per second in. So if you imagined toothpicks in your hand and you put 100 toothpicks in your hand, okay, and then you add another 100, now you have 200. Now you put 1,000 more toothpicks. Now you have 1,200 toothpicks in your hand. Like that's a lot of toothpicks. Now 10 times it. Think of 11 million bits per second. So the things that are around you, 11 million bits per second of your unconscious mind. Like what is the feeling of your pants along your skin? Now you just became conscious of it because I mentioned it. So we are taking in 11 million bits per second through our 5 senses: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. So through our 5 senses, our conscious mind can only take in 126 of those bits per second, or else it's way too overload, way too much for the mind to handle. Therefore, it has to actually delete, distort, and generalize through the filters in which we have values, our attitudes, our beliefs, our decisions, our memories, and language. So we have a lot of filters filtering what winning a lottery is or having sex and firewalking is through these filters. And through the filters, it actually gives us a certain state of mind and emotions. And it outputs certain pictures and feelings and tastes and sounds, like all of the 5 senses gives us a certain way we're going to behave toward those certain events. So if winning the lottery to some people, like to me, I think I would never win the lottery. But then other people may believe that it's actually a great investment of their money, or that having sex isn't that great. Whereas some people may think having sex is out of this world, like amazing. And then firewalking could be absolutely so scary to someone and would never even try it. Whereas other people are willing to overcome their fear, and they have an absolute transformational experience. So depending on how we filter those things with our mirror, with the way we perceive things, whether we're willing to actually face our own shit, is going to change our behavior and our perceptions. So it's kind of like this. When you're first in your relationship, you're this perfect diamond. It's glowing, it's bright, it's magnificent, it glistens, all the things a diamond would be. And over time, as you're in a relationship, shit just starts happening. You experience life, and shit and poo and dirt get thrown up on the diamond, right? So maybe you were shamed, or you were guilted, or you actually you shamed yourself, maybe even, or held on to things or regrets, or, lots of dirt and poo can happen throughout a relationship. And the problem with that is that a diamond doesn't actually function like a diamond should. After a while, unless you're constantly removing the dirt, constantly like removing it all. And so after time, what happens and why you're here is you actually need an expert to help. And that's why it's like that. So when you think about, the diamond of who you are, and you think about the things that you could remove in your relationship in order to have the fulfillment that you want, and getting that desire and passion back for your partner, what kind of tools do you need to use to start carving that stuff away, removing the dirt? Because even this process, I know these aren't diamonds, they're crystals, but you get the point. There's even a process in which an expert comes in and very nicely removes the dirt and really goes through a process of refinement to get that diamond back to how it naturally was, back to its original beauty. Just like your natural state of your relationship, and how do we actually enhance that and make it more beautiful than it even was at the beginning. So also what needs to be realized is that you don't actually want to start with couples therapy. You actually want to start with you first, so that you actually start removing your own things before you work with your partner, if that makes sense. So you want to start unlocking your own stuff, getting rid of your own negative emotions, your own guilt or shame or rejection or fears that you may have, beliefs that don't really serve you anymore, and start unlocking your desire, the things that have been compacted dirt onto the diamond of who you are. And then we can work as a couple once all of that, a lot of things have been removed. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how alive are your sexual pleasure spots? 10 being, damn, I get turned on easily. And I promise you, like, being vulnerable and open, it's just going to help you take your experience to the next level. And you don't have to put it in the chat if you don't want to. You can if you would like. A 1, how alive are your sexual pleasure spots? You are in the right place. That's awesome. Let's get you turned on easily, baby. Okay, so I'm excited that you're here. Okay, and sexual pleasure spots are the spots on your body, anywhere on your body that should actually be stimulating pleasure for yourself. It could even be a place on your arm or a place on your back that your partner usually touches, but it doesn't have the sensation that could turn you on. And if you would like that to happen instead, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do that. So the secret number 1, I have a testimonial from Abby. She says, I recently divorced after 17 years of marriage. It's not talked enough about the difficulty of co-parenting with someone that you're still healing from. So this is perfect if you're divorced and you're here and you're watching this, because this is going to help you, as well as if you are in a long-term relationship and married. But she says, likewise, the difficulty in dating when you're unable to see your true value, as well as having the inability to trust others with yourself. I learned about the love relationship breakthrough with Camilla and scheduled an appointment right away. Within a couple of hours of working with Camilla, I was able to release significant pain and limiting beliefs, all while stepping into a serene state and discovery of self-love and the recognition of my value. I feel free and light. I now look forward to making positive connections with others as well as with myself. Thank you, Camilla, for your help to facilitate this beautiful breakthrough. Awesome. So secret number 1, learning takeaways to empower sensual pleasures is remember to be open-minded to change. Be at cause in your life. Perception is projection. So what you perceive is what's actually going inside you. So you likely have work to do. Even if you showed up here and you have the desire for sex, but your partner doesn't, there's still a lot you can work on, both partners. It's 2 ways. Negation, so focus on what it is that you want instead. Change your reality by changing your filters, getting rid of the dirt that's been building up by using tools to do that. And I want to remind you that a woman needs to understand that a man cannot give an orgasm to the woman unless she does that herself. She needs to learn her body's response to sexual stimulation. A really great book that I recommend is How to Have an Orgasm as Often as You Want. I can't remember the author, but really great book. It teaches a woman how to be empowered and start learning how she's pleased. So get that book. Secret number 2, how to get the juices flowing. All right. I'm excited about this one. So When you change your perception of a man, I know this is mostly driven toward a woman, but I want you to think because, like I said, a lot of women have a little less desire for sex than a man. And I think it can have a lot to do with having babies, having children, and raising them and being exhausted from it. Um, but starting to change the perception of the man and the reason behind why he's wanting sex is really, really important. So this is from the book, The Way of a Superior Man. I would also get this book. I highly recommend it. It gave me a new perception of my man as well. It says, the way a man penetrates the world should be the same way he penetrates his woman, not merely for personal gain or pleasure, but to magnify love, openness, and depth. Which, how beautiful is that? If the purpose and reason behind wanting sex and wanting to pleasure a man or a woman, either way, is to magnify love and have an openness and a depth, why are we holding back? Why are we allowing things to limit us from having those things? And sex and intimacy is a perfect way to share and open up pathways to love and go deeper with a person, because this is really the only thing that two people share together, unless they're in a poly relationship, but likely you're not. You're likely in a monogamous relationship. So you're the only two people sharing this one thing with each other. And how you can go deeper and be more open and magnify your own love within yourself by using sex to transcend yourself is absolutely beautiful. So when we change our perception, oh, here's a question for you. So how often do you desire sex with your partner? And maybe you're not with a partner right now. Maybe you've been divorced and you're seeking a partner. How often are you even feeling desire for sex? Is it once a day? Is it 2 times a week? Is it a couple times a day? 1 time a month? How often do you desire sex with your partner or without? This is really important to ask yourself. You can put it in the chat if you want to be open and vulnerable and you're okay with that, or you can just keep it to yourself, either way. So 3 ways to get the juices flowing again, okay? It's going to be a little bit jargony, but I'm going to break it up. So submodalities is one thing that we work on. Submodalities is basically, it's the subsets of a modality of the way we picture things, feel things, and hear sounds of certain things. So if you have negative pictures, feelings, and sounds, we actually want to change the submodalities within those pictures and feelings and sounds. And I will demonstrate that in a moment. Another thing is perceptual position. When we perceive something in a certain position, which I'll show you in a minute, it can actually give us negative charge and influence us. So when we let go of the negative charge from our partner that's influencing us and we become neutral, a lot of things shift and change when that happens and you come from a very neutral standpoint. It gets rid of fights. It gets rid of that negative charge that's going on. And I'll show you that in a minute. And then there's anchoring. Anchoring is some kind of stimulus that anchors a certain feeling or a certain sound, kind of like your phone when it vibrates, you're anchored. Once you feel the vibration, you're anchored to it, so you pick up your phone. So if you have any negative pleasure spots, so spots on your body that should actually give you pleasure, if those aren't positive, we want to actually eliminate any negative pleasure spots and install positive ones. So I'll go more into detail into each one of these. But first, let's play for a moment. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a negative experience and a positive experience, but the negative experience you can totally resolve while you do this, okay? But I want you to pay attention how you feel inside as we do this little exercise. So go ahead and close your eyes. And what I want you to do is I want you to recall an experience. It can be with yourself, it can be with your partner that still causes you sadness or distress. Okay, I want you to remember it and make sure you're re-experiencing it as if it were happening right now. See everything through your own eyes. Feel all the feelings associated with those emotions. I know it's uncomfortable for a moment. It's okay. Feel those feelings through your own body and pay particular attention to any sounds. They might include anything that was said by you or from your partner. Okay. It may also include your own self-talk. I want you to make a mental note of the degree to which this memory still causes you pain. And now I want you to pretend or imagine that you can step back out of the experience. So step out of the experience so you can see yourself in the picture as if on a screen, okay? And I want you to push the entire scene away from you, further and further away, noticing the difference, how you begin to feel as it moves into the distance, how the colors begin to leach away and the detail diminishes. Push it as far away as you need to push it to notice a distinct difference in the way you feel about the event. And if you want to leave it there, you totally can and lock it in place. Or if you want to get rid of it completely, you could actually spin it away up into space and have it explode in the sun. Okay. Let me know when you're done. Just put done in the chat. And what did you experience? How did that make you feel? That was your unconscious mind completely changing the submodalities, the pictures, the sounds, the feelings. Okay, now we're going to do a positive experience. So you can close your eyes, and I want you to recall an experience that still causes you bliss and happiness. It could even be an experience with your partner. As you remember it, make sure you are re-experiencing it as if it were happening right now. See everything through your own eyes, feel all the feelings, including associated emotions through your own body, and pay particular attention to any sounds. These might include anything that was said by you or any other significant participants in the original scenario. It may also include your own self-talk, your positive self-talk. Make a mental note of the degree to which this memory still causes you bliss. And now pretend or imagine you can step back out of the experience so you can see yourself there as if on a screen. And I want you to push the entire scene away from you further and further, noticing as it moves into the distance how the colors begin to leach away and the detail diminishes. I know you're probably thinking, no, don't go away. I want to feel good, right? But I want you to notice the difference of sensations and feelings, pushing the good feelings, pushing it as far as away as you need to push it to notice a distinct difference in the way you feel about the event. Okay, now be nice enough to bring it back, bring it all the way back, step back into the picture, seeing through your own eyes, brightening the colors, making it vivid so you feel all the good feelings of bliss and happiness, including associated emotions. through your entire body, paying a particular attention to any sounds. Make a mental note of the degree to which this memory still causes you bliss and happiness. And now lock it in place like the sound of Tupperware right now. Let me know when you're done by putting done in the chat. So did you experience how you yourself can actually be empowered with how you are actually feeling and picturing things? You are in charge of that. And there's many ways in how we can actually change different pictures and different things, even things in the bedroom, to enhance them or make them better by using NLP. Those things are in your unconscious mind, and submodalities are fantastic to changing those things. So we want to actually target any negative pictures, feelings, and sounds that you might have in the bedroom. So for example, is there anything that you dislike in the bedroom that you would actually like? So there could be, so some examples would be like, is there any fantasies maybe that your partner has, or things that your partner enjoys, but you don't so much, but you wish you did? Put yes in the chat if you do. You probably have something in mind. Yes. So those things with submodalities, usually we actually use this technique with something that a person does not like, that they want to dislike. This is how I've helped a lot of people overcome addictions with alcohol, smoking, vaping. But we're going to actually take something that you may dislike. So for example, my partner loved to do 69ing and I didn't like it that much. So I was like, what if I took something else that I really, really loved and actually shift my mind and change it from disliking 69ing to liking it? And it worked like a charm. Now I like it just as much as other things. So when we change, because it had a negative association, and it was actually to a previous relationship. So I completely changed the way I saw it, the way it felt, and completely transcended the way I experienced it. So things like that, we can actually change. Okay, and then changing pictures and shifting it to what you want instead. So for example, I want you to think of a specific time when you're actually triggered and you'd really like to get rid of that trigger. This could be in the bedroom, it could be outside the bedroom, or maybe a certain way your partner looks at you that you don't like, it kind of turns you off. We could actually shift those pictures and completely change them into what it is you want instead. For example, I actually did this with one of my partners. There was a certain look I didn't like about him. So I shifted the picture in my mind and how it felt into what I wanted instead. And if I see that look, I just get a neutral, and immediately I actually really like, it's endearing to me now. Or I don't even see it hardly at all. I see his other facial expressions. It's really amazing. Or maybe you have a bad habit that affects your relationship. So for example, maybe you have a really bad, oh, what is it called? Shoot, where you're in traffic and you have a really bad attitude about it. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, maybe you can put it in the chat. But that road rage, thank you, road rage. That affected me because my partner had a really, really bad road rage. And I wish he had changed it. I wished all the time. But then what I needed to do was get rid of that trigger, that negative charge. So see, on a partnership, it's two ways. I, for myself, got rid of the trigger so then I could at least be calm and peaceful because that was actually causing a lot of fights in our relationship, even around our kids. So if there's a bad habit or something like that, or maybe in the bedroom, there's things you can actually manually shift like a car, how you manually shift it. We can actually do that in our mind by using submodalities. Okay, the second thing is perceptual position. You can actually begin to see through a person's eyes. Now, is there anything in your relationship that you have been wanting to talk to your partner, but every time you open your mouth, it seems like you're just bunting heads, and you just can't even get past a certain point? Raise your hand if you have anything like that, or put yes. Or maybe like you feel like you're stuck in not being able to have a certain really important conversation with your partner, or you're really triggered by something. Yes, you're really triggered by something, but you feel like you can't use your voice to actually get it out. Well, what's actually happening is that you guys have walls, okay? We have boxes, or you could say a wall, however way you want to think about it. So there's certain things that are stopping you from actually being able to step in each other's shoes and seeing through a person's eyes. And when we use perceptual position, when we take different positions, there's a lot we can resolve. So how we would actually do that is you actually step into the other person's shoes. And I teach this in my desire method. We'd actually do it. So I'll just tell you about it right now. But you'd actually step in each other's shoes, and you do this within your mind, okay? And then there's a certain position that's magic. Once you actually step in the other person's shoes, and you also step in your own shoes, looking at each other, there's a magic position called the fly on the wall. The fly on the wall actually has no filters, meaning no walls, no nothing. And it's the sweet spot, the secret spot that actually helps you let go of negative charge from your partner that influences you, that negative charge that influences you with your partner. And you actually gain true learnings where you can feel neutral again, especially around a specific topic where you're looking at both people. And we do this in the desire method. There's no way I have time to do this right now, but I have seen this technique done, and it gets done within 15 to 20 minutes. And it could be a lot of compacted issues that a person completely lets go of the negative charge. And then they're able to actually have a conversation with their partner in a calm, level-headed, balanced state of mind. And that is the whole purpose of everything we do, is so that you're coming from a place that you can create a win-win for the both of you. And the perceptual position is one of the greatest tools I've used. It helps get rid of lots of negative energy around a person without actually having to talk to them. It's amazing. So the third thing is anchoring. Anchoring is a stimulus, whether it's a sound, a picture, it could be a touch, a feeling. Have you guys ever heard for one negative thought, 5 to 10 positive thoughts need to take place of it? Yeah. Well, it's true, but the problem with that is, how often do you notice one negative thought and then start thinking 5 positive thoughts? How often does that happen? Likely not. The negative thought comes, whether you think and think and think and focus on that negative thought or not, you don't just naturally start thinking of 5 positive thoughts. Because if 5 negative thoughts come in, that means you need to think of what, 25 to 50 positive things? So instead, what we want to actually do in anchoring is we want to actually reprogram that negative thought and actually collapse it and install positive new emotional states. So with that, think of your pleasure spots, okay? Spots on your body that bring you pleasure, that should bring you pleasure, but they don't anymore. An example, when I was pregnant, I have 4 kids, and when I was pregnant with my 2 girls, I did not want to be touched at all. Like, I didn't want to be touched on any part of my body. I wanted nothing to do with sex, no nothing. So when my partner would come to me in the morning needing sex, it felt awful. I didn't like it. My body didn't like it. And that actually also increased a lot of rejection. Like I was rejecting my partner a lot, which I can only imagine what that would make a person feel. But also my body wasn't liking it. Well, after I was done being pregnant and I was like, oh, I want my body back and I need to heal from that. It was quite traumatic for me, actually. And I thought, oh, time will heal. Over time, it'll get better. It never really did. And my daughter's 14. So 14 years ago, I got into NLP about 6 years ago. Once I started learning about NLP and learning about anchoring and how we can actually re-anchor things on our body, that's when I actually became conscious of and aware of this idea that we can actually, instead of just thoughts, we can stimulate certain spots in our body and collapse those negative pleasure spots and install positive ones that actually completely get rid of the negative and where it's not even accessible anymore. All you can do is feel the positive emotional states and pleasure back at those spots. So I actually will teach anchoring in the desire method. So one other thing in anchoring is changing the motivation from a lack of desire to desiring sex. When you think of having no desire for sex, okay, it's kind of like procrastination. Okay, I'm going to give you another offset because I've worked with a lot of people in business with helping them go from procrastination to actual motivation. And it's the same concept, is not desiring sex to having total desire of sex. Okay, basically there's such a big gap. If you think about a river and you're crossing a river, and the river, in order to get across it, you need stepping stones, right? You need stepping stones in order to cross the river. Well, that's like having no desire. There's just not enough stepping stones in order to get to total desire. So we need to actually build in those other 2 stepping stones. So like in procrastination, to get a person off procrastination, it may be that someone needs to become frustrated in order to get off procrastination. There's going to be something that will get a person off of desire. Likely you do have desire once in a while for sex, but we can actually build a block that gets you off of no desire. And then there's got to be another stepping stone. So another spot could be stepping stone could be excitement that moves a person to motivation. So what is it that gets you off of no desire onto maybe excitement that gets a person total desire? And then it's like stepping stones to get across, and you will naturally have total desire when you want. So it anchors and changes your motivation from having no desire to total desire. And we want to actually neurologically rewire those things. It's not just thoughts we're thinking. We're actually using NLP techniques to re-anchor so you're totally motivated to desiring sex. So that will be taught in the desire method. So Angela says, Camilla's promise is that she will help you reprogram your unconscious mind so that you get results you want easily and effortlessly in business, career, relationships, and any area of your life. A few short weeks after her training, I love living. I am happy. I feel light and powerful. I am in the joyful process of creating, healing, and enhancing my personal relationships. Choose Camilla. She is light years ahead of all other solutions. The changes you want are possible. And it's true. Using these techniques will really, really help you. Now, if you want to go at your own, go on your own like you have been, that's fine. But I'm telling you, you could get there so much faster. So the secret number 2 learnings that get the juices flowing is when you change your perception of your man or your woman even. You need to change any negative pictures, feelings, and sounds that you may have and let go of any influential charge that you have toward your partner. Also eliminate negative pleasure spots, and then you need to install positive ones within yourself. And change the motivation from having no desire to total desire. And then a reminder, a way a man penetrates the world should be the same he penetrates his woman, not merely for personal gain or pleasure, but to magnify love, openness, and depth. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what does. Having more love, openness, and depth. I know that can be a scary thing for some people. Maybe there's trust issues going on, or maybe there's fears going on, but that's why that's the dirt and the vulnerability and taking away those things and the compacted, built up stuff that we need to remove, which actually does bring me to secret number 3, how to sexify your life. Okay. So love, sex, and money, they're actually interconnected. The more you unlock your true potential within, the more sexy your life becomes in all areas of your life. And then those sexy, most lofty goals, they start manifesting as you find a deeper love for yourself by up-leveling yourself using sex for self-transcendence, which is really amazing. I'll tell you more. So out of 100%, I want you to ask yourself, how sexy is your life? And you can put it in the chat if you'd like. Overall, in all areas of your life, what percentage is it currently at? Is it 80%, 50%? One being the most boring and stagnant, there is 100% the most sexy in all areas of your life. You can put it in the chat if you'd like. 50. All right. So you're halfway there. That's good. At least now you know where you're at. That's good. You're in the right place. Okay, so here's all the areas of life: sex, money, family, career or business, personal growth and development, health and fitness, spirituality, and relationships, whether they're social or intimate. So then you want to break down, if you took go ahead and take a screenshot of this picture. And what I want you to do, if you don't mind me giving you a task, is after this class, I want you to color in how much percentage of each area of your life is sexy. Okay. And really realizing that love, sex, and money are interconnected. So think about it this way. The more you love yourself, the more deeply and connected you are with yourself. How much more you feel deserving of money, how much more you feel that you deserve to please yourself in all the ways, not just sex, but in all the ways. And when you are with your partner and having fulfillment and connection and intimacy and taking your sex life to the next level, how much easier is it going to be to love yourself? How much easier is it going to be to not only make more money, but spend money on yourself, fulfilling yourself in all the ways and being happy about it and showing yourself more love. These are the 3 building blocks in which will unlock every other area of your life and fulfill what your heart truly desires. Think about how much it's affecting your health, your relationship, how much your spirituality is being affected in your relationship. All these things are interconnected. But if you were able to take these top 3 things and better them and take them to the next level, how every other area of life will be taken care of. It'll be a breakthrough in every single one. Pretty cool, right? So I don't know if you're very familiar about chakras. They're energy points in the body that when we think of energy, those like where you're putting your energy and I don't want to go deep into this because I don't really teach about chakras, but I wanted to point out the sacral chakra. Okay, the sacral chakra, the functions of it is where we actually express our sexuality, our emotions, our relationship, our sensual pleasure, creativity, and fantasies come from. So the thing about the sacral chakra too, though, is that it's also connected to our voice, to releasing, like allowing ourselves to speak and to share our voice. So if you're not able to speak with your partner, unlocking things in your sacral chakra is really going to allow you to share your voice with your partner. And then the other one it's connected to is the third eye. I don't know if you believe in the third eye. It doesn't really matter. Basically, the point of it is that's where all inspiration comes from. And you're connected to your higher power. Whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever it is, you're spiritual, something higher than yourself. All 3 of these are connected. Those 2 are connected to the sacral chakra. So that's why even creativity in your business or your career or in your family, creativity, if there's imbalance in your sacral chakra, it can actually, if you're having lower back pain or reproductive issues, it's because of the sacral chakra being blocked. Maybe you have urinary tract infections, you're more impatient, or if you have pain during intercourse or bladder and kidney issues, those things can be your sacral chakra. So we want to actually unblock those kind of things because when the sacral chakra is in a healthy alignment, you'll be able to source energy for creativity, which a lot of creativity goes into business or your career, movement, procreation, desire, pleasure, and relationships. You'll be able to freely express your wants and needs in your relationship, and pleasure will actually be a priority. So if you're wondering like what kinds of things can actually block, these kind of things block your expression of sexuality, emotions, relationships, sensual pleasure, and creativity and fantasies. Things that can actually block it is when you feel disconnected, when you've actually disconnected yourself. Being disconnected can actually happen in lots of different ways. It can be all of that compacted dirt and poo in the relationship that you actually disconnect yourself. We're not going to sit here and blame our partner anymore. We're going to actually be in the cause side of your life. That's my responsibility is to help you be in the cause side of your life. So if you feel disconnected, it's actually a choice. Okay. And you can actually be connected, connect yourself again. I actually have a free journal that you can go on my website and grab especially if you're a woman. It's designed for a woman that's disconnected and wants connection with their partner. Just go on transcendwithcamilla.com. Another thing is if you're not making enough time for creativity or to play. So Play could be like if you're not playing enough with your children, if you're not being creative enough, if you're not being creative in work, if you're building your business and you feel stuck in creating things, your sacral chakra could be blocked and you need to unblock that and become more creative and play more. You could also be suppressing sadness. So the label we put on that is depression. It's merely a label. But when we actually press down sadness long enough, that can actually create a problem. It can block things for us. And when it actually comes up and we feel sad, it's actually a good thing. We need to actually allow ourselves to feel those things instead of pressing them down and discover where at the root cause is that sadness coming from and release it. But if we're suppressing it and we just keep pressing it down, that can block things. Also, fear and anxiety. If we're suppressing down fear and anxiety and allowing ourselves to focus on what we don't want, which causes anxiety, those things can also block us. And if we're not willing to face our fears and to overcome them or let go of the fear, the root cause of where those fears are coming from, that can block as well. We can also become emotionally numb. If enough things have happened, I know I've talked to people that have had many, many miscarriages. So it's changed the trajectory of their relationship and they started numbing themselves because it hurts so much. We actually need to process grief all the way through. So emotionally numbing ourselves can block us from actually even feeling happiness and joy and sensual pleasure and positive emotions if we're numbing negative emotions. Also, sexual trauma can affect us in our relationships. So I've worked with several people in the past on sexual trauma, helping them release the negative emotions from that. And then just trauma itself as well. Even if you've never gone through trauma, trauma can look differently. Just like it was traumatic for me when my body didn't want to be touched when I was pregnant, and then dealing with rejecting my partner during that time, that was traumatic for me. So it doesn't even have to be abuse of any kind. It can just be our own internalization of how we ourselves traumatize ourselves. So those kind of things can block us. So in what other areas of life is this affecting you? I want you to think if you're even one of these things, you're in the right place. In what other areas of your life are any of those things affecting you, whether it's in business and family and relationships? What other areas are they affecting you? So the requisites for change, remember the dirt. So I brought up inside out because they're all the emotions, right? We even have joy, we have fear, sadness, disgustingness. And I haven't seen the new movie, but there's new characters too. I think anxiety. In order to make the change that you need and get to the next level in your relationship, you actually need to get rid of negative emotions, limiting decisions and beliefs, integrate parts conflict, and creating a compelling future. So these four things are requisites in order to make change and for transformation to happen. So I'm going to dive into negative emotions and limiting beliefs because I don't have time for the other two. But basically, when you think about it, we actually have a timeline. Okay. So you have a timeline of what happened in the past, then there's now, and there's your future. Okay. So just like an Inside Out, remember how she has, if you haven't seen the movie, you should go see the movie, but she has rows, like shelves of memories. And then she has her most significant memories held in the closest part of her mind. So every single memory that you have is stored on a timeline. Okay, it's on a timeline. You have the past and you have the future. And very likely you could even point to your past and point to your future of where your memories are, and they're stored along the timeline. There's even, so things that can affect us are usually things in the past. And they could even be things that we put out in the future that we're nervous and scared of because we continue to focus on those things. So it could be things in the future as well. Well, even in the womb, you have a consciousness in the womb. And then there's even genealogical beliefs that impact us. It can be in forms of money, the way we love, the way we do things, genealogical beliefs that have been passed down from generation to generation. And then past lives, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, doesn't really matter. Or maybe there's just in your mind, you have a past amount of time that you existed before you came to this life. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But I like to point out that these are all along our timeline. We have memories of all of these things. So what happens is there's a gestalt. There's a very first event in which something happens. Okay. So for example, the very first time you stubbed your toe, that very first time you stubbed your toe, let's just pretend like there was like a pearl bead put on a string for a necklace. That very first time something happened, you became angry and that anger was not resolved. Well, if it's not resolved, that bead stays on, and then more events, more beads get put on the pearl necklace. As it's more significant emotional events happen, more beads are put on the necklace, and more beads are bigger than the other. So more significant emotional events that happen around that first beat of anger. So what happens is once you traditional therapy, a lot of traditional therapy will have you start from now and work your way back and rehash things till the first event. And they may not ever get to the first event. But in timeline therapy is the technique that we use to get rid of all the major emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. When you actually get to the first event and let go of the anger or sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt, it actually breaks the chain. It breaks the whole pearl necklace, and all the significant emotional events disappear. And positive learnings are reinstalled, and letting go of all the anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt that have been built up, all that dirt and poo of, it could be even generational. It could be things that happened at the beginning of your relationship. So timeline therapy is really, really effective. It's helped thousands and millions of people help let go of those negative emotions that have been built up. Because likely if there's negative emotions built up in your relationship, it's actually a lot of significant emotional events. If you're like, man, I feel like it's a cycle, like this keeps happening, and it just, no matter how many times I rehash this thing, it just keeps happening. And there's bigger moments and smaller moments. Those are significant emotional events from the very first event, which a lot of the times occurs from the ages of 0 to 7, from a very young age. And timeline therapy helps us get to the root cause of that first event. So then there's limiting beliefs. Okay, limiting beliefs are really important. A limiting belief is just a belief that no longer serves you and continues to limit you. A limiting belief can be anything that you can't feel. Even saying I just don't feel happy can be a limiting belief. Negations, so the word not, so any phrases of negations like I don't feel loved or I can't make the kind of money I want, those are limiting beliefs. Or comparatives, when you're comparing yourself to others or other couples, or like saying I'm not good enough, I have low self-esteem, those comparatives are limiting beliefs. And any belief that doesn't serve you anymore. Any kind of doubts, like I doubt that I can have the desire for sex ever again, or I doubt this or that, any kind of doubt. And what's happening is a limiting decision, it always precedes a limiting belief like this. So there's an event that happens, and in that event in which it happens, you make a decision. Okay, so it could be something as simple as he lied to me, therefore I can't trust now. So you make a decision. This could happen years ago when you were young, or your first love, or a second love, or a third. It can be in anything. You make a decision and that creates a belief. So what happens is all these significant emotional events actually prove to you that that belief is true. Until you actually go back and reprogram it and rewire that belief, then your belief is going to remain there, and all these significant emotional events will actually, all the filters in your mind, that 126 bits per second that your conscious mind filters, will prove for that belief to be true. So I actually help in the desire method. I teach you about limiting beliefs and how to actually let go of limiting beliefs holding you back from desiring sex. So Christy, she says that she grew up in a very religious family and community where she was taught to cover her body and to not tempt men. And if men were at all tempted by her, it was her fault. Talk about limiting belief, right? She said, I was taught not to touch my body, but to also prepare for marriage where I'd have to allow a man to touch me. I had absolutely no desire for sex, and as you can imagine, this harmed my marriage for 16 years. I started working with Camilla, and after taking her level 1 course, which was mainly focused on the betrayal trauma I was facing at the time, I started to feel deep desires for sex. I asked Camilla about it, and she said that as we clear and unlock our personal potential, it naturally opens our sexuality, and invited me to start exploring my own body. I now have very healthy desires and thoughts around my sexuality and love sharing and exploring with my partner. Sexual intimacy within myself and fulfilling my partner's needs has become so important to me and has helped my relationship evolve in a way I never thought was possible. This work is very important and I'm so grateful for it. Amazing, right? So when you start unlocking yourself, you can unlock other areas of your life and have fulfillment. It's so amazing. I've seen it time and time again with my clients. So takeaways from secret number 3 to sexify your life. Remember that love, sex, and money are interconnected. And why this is important is when you work on the 3 things, these 3, everything else opens up for you. Also remembering that healing the sacral chakra can open up sexuality, emotions, relationships, sensual pleasure, creativity, and fantasies. And then for change and transformation to happen, you need to get rid of negative emotions, limiting beliefs, integrate your parts, and create a compelling future. And then break through your limitations, transcend your sensuality, really break out of the limitations that you have put yourself in so that you can have sensual pleasure and even pleasures of all sorts that you deny yourself of. Okay. So the bottom line, this can work with you even if your partner doesn't want to join. Okay. They don't have to join. You need to break through your own limitations, whether you're on the side that desires a lot of sex and your partner doesn't, or your partner, or you're the one that doesn't have desire for sex and your partner does. Either way, you need to break through your own limitations. Also, if you don't have a lot of time, I've actually created it so that you can take it at your own pace, which is really, really wonderful. Also, I will have a live class, and if you can't attend the live class, it's totally okay because there will be replays. And I will also have live coaching calls as well. So whether or not you can be there live or not, it's totally fine. You'll have all the support that you need and you can watch it at your own place in the comfort of your own home. And you think that this is snake oil or it won't work. I actually really laugh at this because I've never not seen it not work. Just like the sun rises every day, NLP techniques and timeline therapy works every time. And it's the thing I love about NLP is it's very predictable. Um, it's like, okay, I don't have desire for sex. I want desire. We can rewire those things and make sure that everything is resolved that you're needing. And then a reminder, I just want you to think, what do you have to lose anyway? Okay. If you keep doing what you keep doing, you're gonna get the same results. If it's money, how much money will it cost in attorney fees, splitting your assets if you don't resolve this problem today? What about your business? If you had to resolve your business or split it, how much would that cost you? What about time? What is the purpose of the last how many years that you've been with this person? What is it that you need to give up in order to create the relationship that you both desire and that you want? I really want you to think about this because you have so much to lose if you don't solve this problem today. How is this problem even affecting your health? How is it affecting your business? Is it affecting your effectiveness in your career, in making money? How does this affect you in all areas of life? What do you have to lose? Is what you have to lose greater than actually solving it? Isn't it better to do something and invest in yourself to get help than do it alone? So where to next? You have two choices. You can either figure it out alone, or you can jump on the fast track and work with a mentor that can help you. So there's only so much that I can share in this masterclass. I only have so much time. I mean, I have my practitioner level training is 7 days and my master is 10. So there's just only so much information I can give you during the masterclass. So would you like to hear how I can help you? Type yes in the chat if you would like to hear how I can help you actually become more connected with your partner, how you can both desire one another sexually, how you can transcend your sensuality within your relationship and be a well-fucked couple. How would you like that? And be all consuming with each other again. Yes. Okay. Well, let me introduce, if you want to stay on a little bit longer, let me introduce the desire method. Okay. It's 6 modules. And the first one is called desire. Unlock your lack of desire. So I'm going to teach you how to discover the hidden secrets within your mind to unlock your lack of desire for sex, becoming powerful as fuck. And module number 2 is excitement, intoxicating fantasies. So I'm going to help you actually recreate your fantasies and then align them with you and your partner's needs and their wants. Talk about creating a compelling future in the way of changing things. We need to actually recreate your fantasies. So I'm going to help you with that. And then module 3 is sexual pleasures unleashed. So I'm going to teach you how to learn what's blocking you and help you gain the tools to transcend and break through your blocks and limitations. And I shared 3 of the techniques with you. All 3 of those will be used in this, either this module or spread throughout. Module 4 is intimacy and redefining it. I'm going to teach you how to learn how to find the sweet spot of intimacy. Okay. Module 5 is radical self-transcendence. I'm going to teach you how to learn how to use sex to transcend your daily worries and problems as you become limitless in your pursuits. So, how do we take our worries and problems into the bedroom and transcend them? That's what this one's all about. I'm really excited to teach this one. Um, Module 6, Evolution, how to up-level your sex life. So how to deepen your passion and take things up a notch and up-level your sensual pleasures to new heights as you evolve your relationship. So I'm super excited about this. It's going to be over 6 weeks that I'm going to deliver this. The Desire Method, it's the portion of the NLP training that I teach, but just derived around sex. So I haven't created this yet. So it's a 6-week live class, and I'm only going to do this live once. So you definitely want to jump on this. It's going to start March 5th to April 16th, and I'm going to do it from 7 to 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Unless I have more people wanting to do it in the morning, but I'm going to stick with the PM. But if you're unable to attend live, I will have everyone, I'll be recording every single one. So there will be a replay that's posted. You'll have lifetime access. And once the training is done, I'll actually have live coaching sessions. So you'll be able to get any help and support that you need. So what else might you need to succeed? I know that NLP is not the only thing you need to succeed. So I've got some bonuses that I'm adding into there. So bonus number 1 is the timeline therapy training. This is going to actually help you create the future you fantasize about and get to the root cause of where all your limiting beliefs, negative emotions are, and so much more are coming from, so you can finally remove all that built up dirt that we talked about. This is actually a 2-day recorded training, and it's amazing because you can even do all these techniques with your partner, or you can do it with people in the group that have signed up and taken the training. So that's one of the bonuses. And then bonus number 2 is my hypnosis training. Whether or not you are for or against hypnosis is totally fine. This is just a bonus. Hypnosis is actually a really powerful modality. Learning how to be in a hypnotic state, it actually allows you to immediately reprogram habitual patterns of self-sabotage. And it helps you replace beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you in your love relationship. So hypnosis is really amazing. You can always start watching it, and oh my gosh, it's going to blow your mind. So that's a 1-day recorded training. 1 day is from 9 to 5. So it's at least 7 hours of training. And it's absolutely amazing. There's a script. There's several scripts in it. I give you the manual, and wow, it will really rock your world. So, and then I have a fast action bonus. If you take action right now, today, you will actually get the Myers-Briggs test. This is really going to help you learn more about yourself and your partner. It's going to help you identify strengths and weaknesses that you both have. It's also going to help you understand your feelings and your actions and control your behavior in different situations. So it's actually really, really amazing. Also, I'm going to put my sales page, the link to my page here, so you can go on there. So with all of that, how much money, time, and stress would you save if you had this, would you say? How much time, money, and stress would you save if you had this? So basically, you're probably wondering what's the price, right? So I'll go through each individual thing and show you the price. So the Desire Method, the 6 modules, the NLP training, it's valued at $39.69. The live coaching calls, it'll be for 3 months that you can be a part of. It's $29.69. The bonus timeline therapy training, I literally sell this for $22.22. So me throwing in this is really generous. Even my bonus training, my hypnosis training is $1,111 value. And I'm throwing this in for you. I've never done it like this. The fast action bonus, just that test alone, you'd have to purchase it for $222. I've even seen it out there for $250 selling for. And then I give you all my manuals with all the scripts for every single training. Even the desire method, I'd give you the whole entire NLP manual with, I think it's like 150 pages. Those are valued at $1,111. So all of this is worth $11,604, but today it's only $39.69. Okay. But even today, I'm pre-selling this because I haven't created the desire method NLP training yet. So I'm doing a pre-sell for a limited time only for only $969. Seriously, like this is a still of a deal. Okay. So I'm also going to give it to you that you can share it with your partner. So you get two, you get it. Normally I sell these things per individual. I am giving it to both of you. You can share with each other for only $969. So the desire method, just to give you, if you want to take a picture of this, just a reminder, the desire method, it's going to be a 6-week live class. All the bonus trainings you have instant access to. So you can start timeline therapy right away and hypnosis right away. It is going to take you time to get through it. So you'll have the whole entire month of February to start really diving into timeline therapy and everything. And then we'll start the live classes in March. So jump on this right now. I'm going to put the payment link down at the bottom. I'll send you that. Also, if you're like, man, I need some more purchase options, paying in full is the one payment at $969. But if you need a payment plan, I'll only offer this right now during the pre-sale. I offer 3 payments of $1,111. So that's $370 a month, basically. So if you think about it, many couples go to couple therapy and it costs between $10,000 and $20,000 a month to go. Okay. So this is a fraction of the cost. And not only that, you're going to resolve more here than you ever would at traditional therapy. So you've got those 2 options. And then you have 2 choices. Your first option is to do nothing. Remember, you can stay stuck and arrested and climb back up to B. Or your second option is you can invest in your future, get help from an expert, and actually see results and get to the next level to D. Which one sounds like more of a sure thing to you? And if all this did was buy you back 12 to 18 months of stressing, figuring it out alone, would it be worth it? If all this did was help you heal or took yourself to the next level or unlocked your business, gave you new tools to use in your life, if this gave you answers you've been searching for, if this allowed you to love yourself more or helped you forgive and accept more easily, would this be worth it to you? If it changed your perspective about your partner, if it helped you remove the compacted dirt and have clarity, if this saved your relationship, would it be worth it? If this did one of those things, would it be worth it? So just reminding you of the fast action bonus. If you hurry and sign up and buy now, you get the Myers-Briggs test for $222 for free. So who's a good fit? If you're married and you're on the verge of divorce or on the verge of separating your relationship, if you're divorced, needing tools to heal from your previous relationship, if you're a business owner or leader who are stuck and plateaued, if you don't desire sex but want to and need to, if your relationship is still worth saving, even if it's not, this would be for you. But even more so, you have a higher chance of saving your marriage as long as it's worth saving and you're 100% committed. If you're ready and open for change now, this is a good fit for you. If you're willing to do whatever it takes and you're willing to invest in yourself and your relationship and you follow through to the end and you're all in, this is a good fit for you. So what happens when you go to the sales page? Okay, when you go to that sales page and you scroll, if you are like, I just need to book a call, I still have like a couple more things I want to talk to her about that you need more intimate touch, you can book a call at the top. There's a button, there's only one of them, and it's going to take you to my calendar. Okay, it'll have you pick a date and time and answer some questions on there. And then if you're like, no, I'm good, I'm just ready to sign up now, there's lots of red buttons that say sign up now, all the way to the bottom. And once you click on one of those, it's going to take you to this page and it's going to show you the discount for $9.69. Okay. And if you are wanting the payment plan, I dropped that link as well. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay. So questions, I have answers. We can move into the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, either ask live right now, or you can send them. You can feel free to email me at transcendwithcamilla@gmail.com. You can do that as well. So do you guys have any questions that you have for me that you'd like answered? Just drop them in the chat. Any questions? I will email you. Yeah, that's totally fine. Feel free to email me, transcendwithcamilla.com. No questions. Cool. All right. So join the program now. Here's some more success stories. Okay. So before I started helping people with transcend your sensuality, I was helping them transcend their mind. And so these are 3 success stories from helping people just from shifting and transcending their mind through my NLP training. So Wendy says, I have been learning about the power of our minds for a few years, and NLP has definitely been a part of my journey to self-discovery and self-love. With NLP, I have been focusing on my thought patterns and had some major mental shifts, especially during Camilla's 6-day training. The changes in my mindset are deeper and more permanent than anything else I've experienced. I feel like everyone needs to learn what NLP has to offer. You'll be so extremely blessed to work directly with Camilla. She's an insightful, amazing, inspired, fun, sweet, wonderful coach and guide and a coach and friend. She's very capable and will lovingly yet firmly guide and assist you in your transformation. Trust her. I know she will be able to help you and guide you. So this NLP training, it's actually the same one I will be training you in, it'll just be around unlocking your sexual desire. So it'll be very specific around that. But it's not 6 days. Let me clarify. It's not 6 days. It's the 6 weeks. It'll be those 2 hours for 6 weeks. And then timeline therapy and hypnosis is part of that. So I just want to be really clear, but it's basically the same training, just around sexual desire. So Brielle says, Camilla's training was an eye-opening experience, which helped me see my full potential. Throughout the training itself, I felt a connection with my inner self, which you guys would all very likely experience these same things. become more in touch with my emotions, and gain the ability to connect with those around me and create meaningful relationships with friends and family. I came to fully understand the language of my mind and use it to create change in my daily life. Camilla's training is the experience of a lifetime, and I encourage anyone to take the step, make the change, and take the training. And then Alden says, being able to let go of all my negative emotions has fundamentally changed my life. From being able to see potential intentions of others that would have been blind to me because of fear or something else from their actions has changed my business. I've been able to stay in that calm, level-headed state of mind where my best inspiration, ideas, and logic come from. I've also noticed a massive shift in my energy and ability to achieve my outcomes due to letting go of the negative emotions. No longer am I clouded by fear or anger. Now I'm in a state of excited calmness that allows me to go out and achieve every goal I set for the day. So one more time, what you'll get is the Desire Method NLP training that's live is $39.69. Live coaching calls is $29.69. The bonus timeline therapy training is $22.22. The bonus hypnosis training is $11.11. Fast action bonus, the Myers-Briggs test you'll get is $22.22. The manuals with scripts are $1,111 value. So everything is worth $11,604. But today you not only get it for $396, but for limited time only, you get it for $969 for the both of you. For the both of you. And here's that 6-week live class, and you can pay it in one full payment or 3 payments of $370. Okay. And so if you made it to the end, you've made it to the end. Okay. Let me drop this in the chat. You get these 2 things for free, which is pretty awesome. $938 for free. Congratulations for making it at the end. Please do send your questions to me. Let me know how I can help support you. Book a call with me. You can go to transcendwithcamilla.com, check out, get the free journal. Let me know how I can best support you in your journey to transcending your sensuality and unlocking your sexual desire, and so much more in all areas of your life. Thanks for showing up, guys. Mwah. Have a great day.